Hey guys, I am Ibigandscary. I'm bringing you another StarCraft 2 replay, this time featuring Lyte in our top left corner, playing our blue Zerg, and in the bottom left we have Marshee, our red Zerg. ZVZ, tight and fast matchup. It's going to be a fun game. I am sure we are on the ladder. It is red versus blue. Marshee is in Diamond, and Lyte is in Masters, so I'm betting Marshee's preparing to move up to the Masters level. Always a good day when that happens. Or maybe Lyte is just terrible. I'm joking. I'm sure Marshee is fantastic. I'm sure Marshee is. And the ladder does that sometimes. Queues you up against people who you really shouldn't be playing against, or awkward playing against, and it's gonna be fun. CVZ's not exactly an awkward matchup. You really know what to expect. It's early aggression early on and early macro later. Just heavy macro later on, really. And I'm very thankful that we've gotten to the 10 supply mark without seeing a pool out of either player. Antigua Shipyard is our map, unless I am very much mistaken. Antigua Shipyard kind of favors the 2-base play, but what map doesn't? Very short path to the third, though, meaning that the third is pretty easy, relatively, to secure. You have the destructible debris that you always have to worry about, but an extra worry for Lyte is that his third is actually very close by air to Marshee. Check that out. And with the Overlord's passing, it shows you that how powerful a drop can be. Even slow Overlords, when they drop, are, it's such a short distance, it really doesn't matter. Marshee has thrown down his pool. It looks like Lyte is saving up for his hatchery. He's got his drone in position, actually. He's going to be throwing that guy down. Probably going to follow suit with a pool in short order. He's saving up the money. Marshee also saving up the money for evidently a hatchery. He's sending out that drone right now, unless it's for a ground scout. No, it's a hatchery. He's got him queued up right there. So both players following a pretty standard build. Probably going to get an extractor any second now to start on that gas so they can get the boost speed for the Zerglings, allowing them to close the distance pretty quickly on this very large map. Antigua is pretty big. It's a pretty big map. There goes the gas for Lyte. And if you're checking the mini-map, Marshee's also grabbed his extractor right as that spawning pool finishes. He's starting his queen right away. The spawning pool for Lyte's a little bit more delayed. The extractor is going to finish first. Is not going to be able to mine enough gas to start the metabolic boost right away. But it is important to notice that he is saving money, and his supply, he's got an Overlord on the way. Yeah, he's got an Overlord on the way. So once his hatchery pops, it's going to pop at pretty much the exact same time the spawning pool pops. And this is one of the things that a master does really, really well, is he'll have both of the hatcheries on a single hotkey, number 4, and then as soon as that spawning pool pops and the hatchery pops, he's got 300 minerals, he's got plenty of supply. Hit queen twice. Both queens are coming out at the exact same time. He's lined up that larva inject. It's fantastic, and that's what happens when you get hatch first over pool and you build them both on 15 supply. It pops out pretty much at the exact same moment. This sometimes happens, though. You get a couple of Zerglings in your base if you go hatch first over pool, but this is the appropriate response, especially on a map this large. Plenty of time to get out the Zerglings from your own pool. And with a spine crawler on the way for some added defense, Lyte's going to be just fine. Didn't even lose a queen, or didn't even lose a drone. Metabolic boost coming out for both players now that they've mined 100 gas. I'm expecting to see some of the Zerg pull their drones. It looks like Marshee's going to continually mine gas, but Lyte is doing what I was talking about, just leaving a single drone on to continue to mine gas, allowing him to get gas at a very, very slow rate and eventually get to 100 gas so he can get to layer tech. But in reality, he doesn't want to blow a bunch of drone time on gas. He wants to get a bunch of minerals out so that he can create a bunch of Zerglings and harass Marshee, especially now that he has a relatively exposed expansion. Baneling Nest also on the way for Lyte, so that'll be incredibly important to pay attention on. One Baneling hit can absolutely ravage a probe line, especially when it's backed up by a plethora of Zerglings. It looks like the Zerglings from Lyte is going to get backed away. Baneling Nest is positioned correctly, pretty much to wall off that little gap there. Spine crawler in the way, as well as the queen, just to make sure nothing can slip on by. Still mining just with one drone, though, so it doesn't look like he's going to be committing to the Baneling harass very much. He needs to get a lot more gas income to finance any sort of Baneling bust or Baneling harassment. Marshee, though, is also getting a Baneling Nest back at home, as well as continually mining off of that geyser. He's saved up quite a lot of gas, and it looks like he's going to be spending it on some Evo chambers. He's got 2 Evo chambers positioned right by the ramp. We saw earlier in the engagement that his queen was actually on the ramp blocking those Zerglings from the run by, but this is a static defense. Those 2 Evo chambers are going to be paying for themselves in wall off potential alone. So very nice play there. Also very nice to see all these overlords positioned. Really want them spread out. This guy's probably want to move north, take this position right here, or maybe even check out on the right side or position by the third. Overlord placements, very key. Got to pay attention because Zerglings move very, very quickly. If you can't catch them in the vision of one Overlord, if you have overlapping vision, then you stand a better chance at being prepared for that sort of aggression. +1/+1 coming out from Marshee, and the nice position for the Roach Warren. This is actually a pretty tight wall off with the queen position there. You do have a gap at the extractor, but with the queen there on hold position, the Zerglings aren't going to be able to get through very quickly. Wow, huge number of Zerglings coming out of Lyte right now, and it looks like he had plenty of gas left over to create a huge number of Banelings. It looks like he's doubled down on the gas production. The suicidal Overlord's going to get in and see that the gas is maintaining, but he's not going to be able to scout the Baneling nest because of the pathway that he took. A lot of Banelings are coming in from Lyte. What does Marshee have to defend with? He's got this nice wall off and a couple of roaches, but not nearly enough Zerglings or Banelings. He needs a lucky hit here. Oh, huge hit. Wow, huge hit. That was a big hit. The Zerglings absolutely just demolished. The Banelings are left pretty much undefended. The Zerglings are in shock, just standing off by themselves. Some good hits from the Banelings on the roaches. You can see a lot of them are in red and orange, but you really need them dead to justify the deaths of the Banelings. The drones remain completely unscathed, totally fine. Another couple of hits bring down a lot of the roaches, but enough remain to block off that gap. And all of a sudden, Lyte has to retreat, going back to build a couple more Banelings. Got 7 on the way, but 5 coming out from Marshee. He's going to have plenty to deal with this aggression, and the more time that Lyte waits, the more time that Marshee has to get up that +1/+1. And once that finishes, those roaches are going to be pretty much indestructible. Oh, got to be very careful with these roaches. A good hit right there brings down a couple of the Banelings. Sacrificing the Banelings for Banelings is in favor of Marshee. Lyte really needed a really good hit with his Zerglings, but he can't quite get it with those Banelings. He needs to get his Zerglings into that line of drones and do some economic damage, because right now the total number is 29-36. Marshee is definitely in the lead. Zerglings are going to be pushing again. It looks like this wall off is totally tight on the south side. I didn't think it was. The roaches not having to engage in any number except for like 3 at a time. The Zerglings completely befuddled by this have to pull back. Huge win for Marshee. What a magnificent hold. That Baneling hit was just monstrous. 75-55 supply, and quite a lot of money saved up for Marshee. He's probably going to be throwing down a macro hatch any second now. Lyte throwing down a hatchery of his own. Oh wow, on a macro hatch to boot. As well as 2 Evo chambers. He's doubling down on the gas production. He's actually gotten 4 gas total at all of his expansions, mining up constantly, so he's probably going to be thinking about teching even higher. But the trick is, Marshee's got to be feeling pretty good. He's got really good economy going. He didn't spend any money on the defense that he didn't need, and he scored some fantastic hits on the Banelings. He's going to be thinking about aggression himself, and it looks like that's what he's gearing up to do. Quite a lot of roaches out with that +1. Some Banelings on the way. Lyte just threw down a Spire, so that's going to be your time limit. He's got 100 seconds to get his roaches up to start doing some damage, and it looks like he's moving out right now. Oh, the +2, oh no, +1/+1 on the way for Lyte. But Marshee's moving out with roach speed on the way. A couple of Zerglings in front of the battle group of roaches. Quite a lot of supply, quite a lot of money, and quite a lot of hit points represented in that group. Another time limit for Marshee's attack is all of these spine crawlers. Will those spine crawlers be able to take out or hold back the roaches? It looks like the Zergling's going to be tied up on that third but the roaches are accompanied by a couple of banelings, and they're going to have no issue targeting down those spine crawlers. The zergling's going to have to fall back. It looks like two of the spine crawlers have popped out. Much better engagement for Lyte this time around, but 114 to 60 supply. Lyte's going to have to be very careful. He's walking a tightrope. He's got 800 gas saved up, almost 900. The spire is going to pop any second now. Will those Mutalisks arrive in time to protect Lyte's expansion? He can't afford to lose another base. The third has completely gone down. We have quite a lot of banelings on the way, and with only zerglings to defend, Lyte's going to have to be micro like a god to protect himself from these banelings. It looks like Marshee's just waiting for those banelings to pop before he pushes. Finally they pop, he pushes. The zerglings have been spread up quite a bit. The banelings go straight for the mineral line, taking out all the drones in that area. The roaches are reinforced by fresh roaches from the back. All of a sudden the zerglings are matched 1-to-1. 26 more zerglings on the way from Marshee, 120 to 36 supply. Finally the Mutalisks get started, but at the end Lyte just ran out of time, and that is a shame. That is a shame. It was what it really came down to was that baneling hit right here, because if those zerglings had survived, I am positive that Marshee didn't have enough roaches to deal with that. It was a fantastic hit. It was not at all luck. It was, Marshee he knew what he wanted to do, and he pushed in right whenever Lyte was pushing in, and it was really great. It was really good. Thank you for posting this. I'm assuming it was Marshee, because that's a hell of a game to be proud of. If it wasn't, that's fine too. That's it for me, guys. If you have a game you want me to cast, you can PM me here or on Reddit. One way or another, I will see you guys later. I am Ibigandscary.